Man, that thing gets 1 rod to the hectare. Hi there, this is Cole, and I am here with more Hexcrank Live, starting up with Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, a title that is so funny that you can't not make jokes about it. Hey there, Double Negative. One moment, I need to reduce the volume of this game. What I am hearing is quite loud in relation to my voice. And I will up the stream audio just a little bit. Let me know if I get too quiet compared. Yeah, so this is in the same universe as Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which I finished last night. It is, however, it takes place many years after it. It is not in Prussia. In fact, it is in London. Well, that's all the setup we need. Same universe, some of the same stuff going on, but let's just see. He who makes a beast of himself removes himself from the pain of being human.
Daddy, please don't kill me.
So you can already tell he's a rich guy if you can afford a cage for his bed to keep his assailants away. So, this was made as a partnership between Frictional and the Chinese Room, the studio who made Dear Esther, and eventually went on to make Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. This is less mechanically interesting than The Dark Descent, unfortunately, just because there's really no mechanics at all. It's mostly a walking sim. There is some danger. But yeah, this is First Story. We're in 1899. In my dreams, I see a man dressed in jaguar skins and feathered like a bloodied saint. What came from the heart lubricated us. It crushed evil under its tread and liberated us all. The fetid heat of the jungle mirrored somewhere behind my forehead. My temple pounds. The blood boils in my skull. It feels as if there is something alive there. A rat, a damn rat gnawing through my brains, eating its way into the world. Even the laudanum will not quell its endless hunger. I hear my children playing in the attic, but it fills me with terror, not love. What desperate thoughts are these? What the Chinese Room said is,
Daddy, find us.
If you look at the phrase survival horror, and Amnesia the Dark Descent was more on the survival side, they wanted to make something more on the horror side. We can talk about how that bargain does not necessarily work out.
Papa, this way.
Yeah, the kids play in the attic. But they slept in the attic when they were babes in arms, and perhaps they have hidden there now. I remember I insisted upon it, a midway between my bedroom and my office. He made his kids sleep in the attic.
There's a bad man coming.
So yeah, I'm looking for my kids. Edwin and Enoch's diary. Daddy says there won't be a Christmas this year. He is much too busy. Nanny says we must not disturb him. He is ever so busy. He is gone for work before she wakes up, and often we are asleep before he returns. We found a bird in the garden with a broken wing. We gave it to Nanny, who said it was a filthy thing, and hit it with a rolling pin. Later we crept downstairs to bury the body when everyone was asleep. There was a pig in the garden. We heard it snuffling about. Then Daddy came and said we had to come inside straight away. He was furious, but we think he'd been crying again. So yeah, they play up here under the eaves in the cotton candy installation. Oh, kiddo. Light is not a finite resource in this game, so once you take out the lantern, there is no reason to put it away. And yeah, count the pig masks.
We're hiding, Daddy.
They've led me back out into the main hall.
Daddy.
Big place. Cool paintings. Lots of paintings.
You don't mind if I record this, do you? I find it most useful.
Ah, you have one of those wonderful departed bills. No, of course not, my dear fellow.
It's my own design, Professor, along with everything you see.
Most useful. You understand, of course, why the ministry sent me. That they have concerns.
So yeah, my main character here is some kind of mechanical genius. Dust from the ceiling. Boy, I sure would like a gun. It's 1 o'clock.
Hello?
Precious eagle cactus fruit. Help us.
The cactus has landed. Man, I can't remember if there's very much at all hidden in these. There we go. The bank is refusing credit, the ignorant swine. I sit alone at night and weep, once the children and servants are safely asleep when they cannot hear me. My darling, how I need you now. They say I've squandered my fortune, that my investment in these latest machines has ruined the family name. What? That I was to remain a local butcher? What are these 2 arms compared to the multitude that can be applied without pay, without tire, by adapting the mechanisms that we find in the looms and the mills? But if the bank has its way, it will all come to nothing. If they come for the house, I swear I will kill them. I will kill them all. I will take my rifle. My rifle. Hey, Jella. That phone message was not intended to make sense. Yeah, so here's the spooky part. Remember how I pointed out all those paintings? Yeah, this entire place is rigged for bear. Oh, hi there, Big Mask. That was not there when I was in that office.
This dawning epoch, this age of reason, an empire grown fat, ripe for the bleeding.
Dirty boy. Chat's quiet tonight. You guys out there?
This way, Papa. Come and see.
Son, your voice is omnipresent. This way means nothing when you're everywhere. Oh, it's never the front door. Numeric asks, this one is combat free, right? There are very few monster encounters. The stealth element is kind of almost entirely disposed of. You can still be pursued and killed, it's just very rare. Hoity-toity. Had a lot of banquets around these parts. I remember this part being a little bit frustrating because the way forward is not necessarily apparent. Oh, wait.
Mandus, do you know me?
Who are you? Where are my children?
Trapped, Mandus. Far below us. The machine is fouled. It is breached. It is flooded. The bulkheads are down. The children are encaged. If you help me, I can help you release them. Restore the power, Mandus. Drain the flooding and restart the great engines.
How? Where should I go? Hello? Hello?
I hope you all are ready to unclog some sluices.
I must say, my dear man, you look awful.
Yes, I seem to have picked up something rather nasty in Mexico.
I do understand what you've been through. A lesser man would have crumbled. Yet you have made all of this. Your great factory, your charities. It is a wonder for one man alone.
It will all be made clear, Professor. But first, a drink.
So many bottles. Double Negative is grinding in a JRPG. Which one, pray tell? So many guns! There has to be a mod where you can pick them up. Quit looking at me, owl. Giant anteater, a hippo. Double Negative is playing a Pokemon fan game. Is this another dining room or the same one as before? Same one as before. Okay. I think there's a panel in one of the walls that I have to find. Ragweed season is killing my allergies and making me all congested in my upstairs pipes. Okay. Oh, here we go. What's this? December 20th. I am to have a visitor, the distinguished Professor A. He has come to ascertain my mental well-being after my prolonged absence from the club. But I am not stupid. He is here to spy for them. When they stalked the Ripper, he was often called to pontificate upon lacerations and missing organs. And now he comes to me, to doff and wheedle and, my dear sir, and, but you must still grieve, and perhaps just a quick look at your engines, the triumph of the age. He knows nothing of loss, nothing of sacrifice. But to refuse? That would simply poke the hornet's nest, invite a swarm of interlopers and thieves. I must entertain this buffoon and submit to his intrusion. Perhaps I should show him the tripery. See whether his stomach, so trained by rummaging in the innards of the clumsily vivisected horse, is strong enough to stare into the real engines of this golden age. I may even introduce him to Jack, or his sons at least. We have stronger locks on the windows now, and we bring their toys to them. Uh-oh. Oh, dang, somebody got ate up by the gears again. Man, those gears really hurt. I forget what I am supposed to do. Maybe I'm supposed to put something in that hopper. Oh, something's flickering out there. Oh, that blood was not there before. Oh, Pigman.
Hands are bleeding, raw. I scrub and scrub, but the smell will not lift. How can I hold my children with these hands now? How can I kiss them goodnight with lips that have issued such instruction?
Alright, let's follow the trail of destruction to see where the Pigman went. That was very subtle. It's the original Clockwork Mansion. No.
I am off to market. I will cry all the way home. I will have none. I will have none at all.
Yeah, so by turning those valves, actually I messed around with these doors and created a passageway forward.
He's coming. Come on, Daddy. It's this way.
Okay, and we're out into the London streets. That was a particularly blood-curdling scream. Man, 1899 seems really early for this kind of truck. Although I guess everything, was around earlier than you thought it was. I think the Chinese had jetpacks in 10,000 AD.
Come and see, Papa.
No,
We
BC.
found an egg.
AD would be
Stop
weird.
there.
We'll all have jetpacks by 10,000 AD. So I've dropped into some kind of factory setting.
Come on, slow coach. It's this way.
The shaking ground you feel is our attempts to clear the floodwaters. Treachery, Mandus. We were undone. Your children are trapped by this act. You must find them before it is too late.
What do you need me to do? How can I find them?
Always deeper, Mandus. Through the piston room and into the tunnels. Then find the bilge and flush the rotten water. I will help you where I can. But you must be swift, my little friend.
My little friend. That's what you call like a baby bird you nurse back to health. I need to find a replacement fuse. Oh, I forgot there are no puzzles in this game. Oh. All right, I've lowered some stairs back there. I'm going to refresh the chat. One moment. I just want to make sure I'm not, like, missing stuff. If it's quiet, it can be quiet. Okay. Yeah. The rumbles are also a sign that you're headed in the right direction. That's back toward where I came from. Where is... Okay, so I turned that on. Maybe I twisted this the wrong way. Maybe there's another machine with a fuse that I need to fix. I think I can hear some buzzing. Okay, here we go.
Bandaged feet and eyes. Small bones in the orchard. I have carried this world on my back with its legs about me. Damn this wretched soul. I am given birth to nothing but machinery.
Kind of a shitty thing to say. You have kids, dog. Let's see, what do I need this thing to do? We're coming up on Oktoberfest, so I guess it makes sense that I would roll out the barrel. Something makes me think there's something happening on the other side of that door. What is interactable? Shit, I need a new fuse. Von Reichenbach writes of the odic force, whilst that ignorant charlatan Blavatsky pontificated upon the soul. They are both cretins. To think one could strive for such great heights without wading first through puke and innard, without standing upon an architecture of bones. Montezuma was the wiser. But here, in our temples of steel, I have witnessed the severed head of a man recently trampled to death by a runaway carriage, immersed in a solution of the Brennenburg compound upon his eyes, and cry, "Oh, where are my legs, sir? Where is my body?" We are breaking through the barriers of death itself. Oh, my dead darling Lily, it is too late for you, but I promise you this. I will save our children from death, and if need be, I will wrench them back from the blackness with this wonderful concoction. So, Mandus lost his wife, doesn't want to lose his kids. Enemies are about. Also, he has the Brennenburg compound. Remember, the setting of the first game is Castle Brennenburg over in Germany. Pigman. Hi there, Jellister. Okay, that raised a gate. This is good. I should be reading these as they go. Somebody has sabotaged the factory, is what he thinks. It seems this chemical processor is merely one part of a much larger complex. No easy route for me, then I will follow my fever, the calls of my children wherever they may lead me as I move further into this strange empire. Jellister asks how I'm doing. I'm doing fine.
Follow us, Papa. We know the way.
I finally managed to beat Gabriel Knight 3 today. After the game gave me fits of technical difficulty, and then it caused me to lose a bunch of progress. If I estimated it, I would probably be exaggerating.
For God's sake, hold still, child. Don't let it get into your eyes. I'm gonna rinse it out now. There. It will be fine. You just need to lie down. Enoch, look to your brother. How many times have I told you not to play in the cellar?
Hey there, Wink.
I told you he'd come.
Extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. And you built it all. Good God, man. You have been busy.
It is wonderful how tragedy focuses the mind. What else was I to do? Fall into grief, pine and fade in my hopelessness? Why not then simply die in that jungle amongst those dead temples?
So that vault door seems like the way forward. And there's nothing over there. Yeah, the other voice on that tape is the doctor. The doctor coming by to check in on Mandus and his well-being. What a mysterious machine. Refreshing. Oh, it's like a, forgot about that. It's like a decontamination airlock. So yeah, that's a diagram of the complex. Downward, Mandus, ever downward. The collar, the neck, and the noose. So, from the previous chapter, we learned that the goings-on here have some relation to, if not Brennenburg itself, the things Alexander was doing there.
I have such visions to share with thee. If my jaw be unshackled and you harvest the crust from my eyes, make me clean like this, that my thoughts and words can unfouled be.
If you're tired of not seeing pig masks, just wait 5 minutes. Can you believe this was a top 40 hit? In America, they talk of building their cities to the skies. To me, this seems folly, but perhaps it is simply a case of a nation founded without a history of its own. We walk upon our histories. They are compacted into the very loam beneath our feet. The engineers we employed talked of this. They talked of how, when building the underground trains, they would often come across older tunnels crisscrossing the capital. What palaces lie buried beneath us? We are digging, excavating, and reappropriating what we find. At the center of the planet, my architect tells me, there is a great iron ball. It is the egg of the world. Hell yeah. Jellister has asked an impossible question. If you were judging off the metric of purely horror, dread, or scares, what would you say is your favorite horror game? The question goes for chat, too. I don't think I can answer that. I'm the kind of nerd who would overcomplicate it and segment it down, and I don't think that would provide provide any kind of enlightening information, so I will defer. Apologies if that's frustrating. It's just hard to, it's hard to say. It's hard to say even what's scariest. I've been playing a lot of really unsettling stuff on here recently. October 11th, we integrate the very latest knowledge of chemistry, using low levels of laudanum derivative in feed to subdue the product, even before the initiation of the process. This means that when we drag them from the holding pens onto the line, they are less likely to panic and damage machine components, other products, or themselves products. This section of the belt is sheathed in rubber and kept well lit to maintain good spirits. And we have actually found that the intelligent placement of gramophones and simple acoustic amplification tubes around the line means we can use music to further soothe the product. We find Debussy particularly effective in this regard. Highly corrosive chemicals are present here. All the suggestions of a large workforce, yet no actual signs of life. It is every bit as if someone has attempted to carefully create the illusion of a working factory complex, yet this facade, when examined closely, is clearly just a falsification. But I must put aside my anxieties, quell the unease that pits my stomach, and continue on my path. There we go. Product. It appears to be some kind of fueling station. I have seen automobiles demonstrated at Mr. Yarham and Mr. Simmons' works, but the smell here is all wrong. This is not petroleum. Of that I am sure. Everything suggests to me that this machine must be significant in some way. Alright, so I need something to fuel this bad boy up. All right, I forgot about this. Whee! A physics engine for pigs. What's hilarious is that, as funny as the name is out of context, in context, it is really upsetting. Imagine, they say, a machine one day that might think like a man, as if this is to be desired. One might almost boast of creating a man who breathes like a pig. Men and women upon all fours rutting carelessly, ejaculating their filthy little missives into the streets, alleys and gutters running freely with the careless spill of their conjoinings, the air thick with the whimperings of lust, bodies streaked with their own emissions. We have created a world where man is so utterly debased he will spray his seed over passers-by. And yet, this is the condition that Babbage aspired to. No, this is not the machine we seek. Such an entity should be nothing less than a deity, and we would fall upon our knees and worship it. We shall not carve gods to bicker and fornicate. They will exist to clean the world and set us free. I reject Babbage, as I reject these men of government. Let the pigs copulate in the gutters whilst they can. We shall scoop them up and ease their ascension soon enough. I will say that in terms of discomfort and just outright, just kind of oppressive filthiness and disgust, Outlast 2 is a fucking masterwork of dirty, dirty horror. Just thinking about the things that I have played recently. Psychologically, the Cat Lady is a recent one that has really, really stuck out to me. How in blazes are we supposed to meet these damn schedules if even the basic equipment we are provided will simply not perform its designated function? These cursed newfangled trucks will only run a fraction of the distance my old nag managed before running out of stinking gasoline. The gaffer says it's fine and there's plenty of pumps to refill them outside the factory walls, but you end up dragging a blessed tank from the truck to the nearest one to refill it, and the one in the storeroom is empty again. I can't be turning that crank handle all day only to find the tank is empty. Well, sod it, says. Well, sod, says I. Enough for a night into my bed I go. It's not like anyone needs access to the bleeding graveyard anyway. Harry, if you get this, I'll meet you in the Damson Templar for a jar.
Come on, Papa. Let's climb this one. I can see more pictures at the top.
I need to find a way to move this truck 2 feet. Okay. Nope, pigs are around. This church is connected to the plant. How odd. However, it does suggest another route into the main part of the facility, given the locked doors around the fueling station. The truck blocks my way, however, almost as if the saboteur knew that I might consider this alternative entrance. This canister looks as if it may fit the fuel pump I saw earlier. It certainly carries the same fetid, unholy reek. I will not think of that which I saw pass me in its cage. I will not gaze again into that dark machine room. A more immediate task presents itself, and the opportunity perhaps to gain access to St. Dunstan's. No, wait, really? St. Dunstan's? That's not fair. That's not fair to make me say Dunstan. Man. Let's see here. Does this? Oh, hi there, big mask. What it is? Man, that's not gonna work. Okay, maybe I carry this all the way back to the pump. Splish Splosh. Is it possible to move those things out from that door? Oh yeah, it totally is. Oh well. I've already done things a long way. Man, that thing gets one rod to the hectare.
This way, Papa. Come and see. Will it hatch? Can we take it home?
Yes, my darlings. Of course we can take it home.
Alchemical symbols on the headstones. Papa, can we bury the pigs in the graveyard? I do believe that would make them ever so happy. Papa. So I don't think I'm going to be able to beat this game tonight, unfortunately. I may do another session tomorrow night to finish this up. so I don't take a 2-week break, or a 2-weekend break in the middle of a 4-hour game. That would suck. Twin candles bent to the will of the central saint, casting their light to the corners of the chapel. Father Jeremiah, I thought, could be trusted with the secret, but he is like all of the others, so the old priest has gone to the holding pens with his flock. He says he will enter into our world with them. A shepherd indeed. So 2 candles bending to a central saint.
Your faith shackles your vision, Professor. It is an iron coffin that keeps you from grasping the future. We require a new deity, one of steam and the wheel, of magnetism and progress. The old god is nothing more than a lamed hog, spitting back offal at mankind.
He loves his pig metaphors. Why does a church need that kind of furnace up near its altar? Okay, inside St. Dunstan. Sorry, I can't not laugh. We sat here, I remember. We sat in our black, and we mourned, and we prayed, and we bowed our heads. How I hated God then, how I spurned him. If this is our Lord, this pig who robs me of my wife, then I refute his embrace. I will carve a new God for us all. Such madness, such a fool I was. If such blasphemous ravings had remained within me, I would be doomed. But even here, I feel the machine throb beneath the flags, and I know my path awaits me. Some kind of mechanism. A secret and infertile one with no doubt. The missing candlestick is clearly the answer. But why? This I cannot fathom. Why hide secret machines in a place of prayer? And where are the faithful? Why are there drag marks about the altar, as if someone was pulled away? Oh, geez. Yeah. I never did finish The Walking Dead Season 2. Yeah, I'm sorry that bummed you out. This Season 3's coming up. It might not be too late. I would just need to, you know, probably replay the entire series. So I need to find that candle. Ooh, Father Jeremiah's journal. They flock to us now, where once I had to walk amongst them, to bring salvation into their lives. Now, drawn by warmth in winter, by the food that Mandus distributes, my church is full and my charges are saved. He walks amongst them, and they almost worship him. He will not allow them to work in his factories, claiming that his workforce are specially trained for the new machinery he uses, and that it would be irresponsible, nay, unethical, to risk such precious lives as he sees here. A changed man since Mexico. It is to be praised that, in the face of such appalling tragedy, and from the confines of his sickbed, as he is so often chained to, he conducts one of the greatest and most benevolent charities in all of London. Not content with the rise to become the dominant food produce business in the land, he distributes his goodwill, his fares, to the poor, and they congregate about his kingdom in gratitude. Okay, there's the candle. Yeah, something that's weird about this, that I guess matches the kind of mechanical de-emphasis, is that there is no inventory system, so whatever missing bits and bobs you need to work with, you just have to drag them around the levels, which is a real bummer to my mind. Oh, something in the furnace room. There we are. Whoa, uh-oh. I clipped through the floor. So, what connection does the church have? Do not startle or upset the acquisitions.
Listen, Papa. Hold the egg to your ear. You can hear the sea.
Uh-oh. What were they doing with the congregants? Shit. What exhumation is this? What rotten fruit? What bestitching of parts? I doubt I will ever be found, yet I leave you this, scrawled in the malodorous half-light, whilst my tormentor shuffles below, my fellow prisoners keen and squeal in the gloam, and where I wait for the knocking upon my cage that signifies it is finally my turn for that dark journey into the interior. Oh man, I do not like the idea of what those calipers are for. So the church and the charity were a front. Get the needy here and use them for your own purposes. Oh, Pigman. Gala says if this was Virtue's last reward, the main character would have made perverted comments about those calipers for 10 minutes somehow. Yeah, I don't doubt it. He doesn't see me. Okay, I think I'm back in the factory. This is really a big complex. Mandrus Company Meat Processing Factory. Established 1828.
Water in his shoes. Always the water, and the sparks of the embers of the wheels. It's too bony! It's too damn bony!
Okay, the Mandrus Processing Company. My soul shudders at what I have seen, but at last I have reached the main part of the factory. Now onwards, downwards, to find those floodwaters and drain them away. Like Moses, I will cleave the waters and lift my little darlings clear of its vile cradle. Hey, Dodd, do you think it was Moses that pulled himself? Kind of mixed it up.
These men, Professor, these so-called men of vision, they would shackle the masses to a wheel and turn it till their backs break. All for that opiate, the lure of profit. These fools who lackey them, these priests, these officials, this government, they make pigs of us all.
But what solution, my dear man? How to break a cycle? You cannot simply remove the promise of a better world for these unfortunates. In the workhouses, in the orphanages, the belief in heaven is surely the only succor one can find.
We do not need to wait. We can bring forth paradise now. We can speed the passion. With only a small sacrifice, we can hold the apocalypse. With just a small sacrifice, we can free our shackles and deliver them to paradise now.
What use is living if heaven waits for you? Remember, those phonographs are the conversations between Mandrus and somebody who was sent to just kind of check and make sure he wasn't absolutely unhinged. I hate that there are certain words you just cannot use now because of their association with current times. I can't say unhinged without calling to mind Pigman. running off in the distance. Some heavy duty machinery for just slaughtering some pigs.
Hear me, Mandus. I am compromised. Our contacts must be brief and occasional. Beware the wretches who populate this compound. The way you seek is under the pistons. When you meet the saboteur, you will understand everything.
It's never the front door. So, beneath the pistons, they say. Stop! Are your furnaces fueled? Okay, 4 is lit. But is it lit AF? A series of collecting vents have been installed along the ceiling at this stage of the line. In the process of stunning and bleeding, the product often expels stinking vapors from its digestive system, which can be collected, condensed, and used in the methane boiler to drive the engine as a whole. I forgot that detail. I forgot the factory was powered by farts. In this way, more product is processed. The more product is processed, the more power becomes available to the machine, and productivity is actually increased. A simple stroke of genius, but one that encapsulates the benefits of self-regulatory automation. Sorry. Oh. Yay. Alright, let's try to power up these pistons. Lily's firms are made of steel. Lily's arms are silent. The pistons are silent. The plant is at rest. I must poke the hornet's nest to open my way, I fear. The scale of these engines suggests a far greater works than is visible from the surface, so my friend must be correct, and the larger part of this plant is underground. We are close to the Thames. No wonder flooding is such a risk. Okay, so 5 and 6 are lit. Three and 4 are lit as well. What else do we need? 2 is unlit. Oh, but there's coal inside of it. Okay, all of these engines are firing. Fire and steel. The fires are stoked. Assuming the same architect is responsible here as with the chemical plant, I surmise that a centralized control system regulates and operates the pistons. It should be a simple matter of finding it and hoping the saboteur relented after simply extinguishing the fires. Uh-oh. Okay, so we're down here with the pistons. This is good. Okay, there's a pigman around here somewhere. My flashlight can feel it. Uh-oh! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Okay, below the pistons. What the man on the phone said. The man in the phone? What am I missing? Here we go. Whee! Uh-oh. Yeah, there's a whole coal conveyor belt. And I don't mean just because I'm on it. It's... I've never seen a dumbwaiter in real life. Oh, good. Did you hear me coming?
Quickly, Mandus. Find the entrance nearby. The children weep in the darkness, and the floodwaters continue to rise.
God, I hate this font. This is a very unreadable font. In order to facilitate assimilation of tissue groups, a compound is required, or the cells will not bond. Disposal of non-bonded subjects must be immediate, and using incineration, or we risk continuous animation without form. This is unpleasant. A simple compound of 1 part Brennenberg infusion vitae to 1 part orgone monad dispersal fluid is sufficient. This can be administered intravenously to subjects following reassembly to maintain bonding. The compound is unstable and highly light reactive. Once in the body, the Schumann lamp can be used to activate the compound, but outside the body it is highly corrosive. It can even destroy small quantities of metal. I love that sentence. Let's see here. Disposal of non-bonded subjects can be immediate, or we risk continuous animation without form. Continuous animation without form. Huh, so this must be where they started Frankensteining different parts of bodies together to make the pigmen, the servants. They went full reanimator. There is clearly another passage beyond the locked gates. It seems I have a choice of approach. The padlock is old but firm, and after that fall I cannot summon the strength to break it open. Perhaps I can find another way. Goodbye, Jellister. So, that other way is going to be to mix together the compound mentioned in that note. Brennenberg, vitae, and orgone. Which I imagine, based on my knowledge of orgone, means it was condensed from the air while somebody was jerking it. It's always jerking it with you, Cole, isn't it? Not always. There's a rawness to consider. Let's see. Some kind of centrifuge. Was that a screaming child or a squealing pig? Took delivery of another batch of imbeciles today. They are the sorriest specimens of humanity I've ever seen. No one asks where they go. The authorities of Bedlam are simply happy to reduce the overcrowding in their teeming, stinking halls. We measure their skulls, check their teeth. We give them laudanum to pacify them. They wait in line, livestock, dull brown eyes, and filthy skin. Many soil themselves as they wait. Into the manipulator they file in silence. I hear the hissing of gas. I hear the dull groaning as teeth are removed, as bones are reset. I hear the pigs screaming. We have removed all the mirrors. After the process, it is their reflections that trouble them the most. Afterwards, when they sleep, I walk amongst them. My children. I whisper to their dreams, "You are my children now." I have children once again, and your forms, imperfect, will be the engines to make my blood flow again.
Over there. Place it in the corner. What? You think I speak Prussian? Do I look like an inbred hog, sir? Who gives a damn what it contains? Just set it down carefully and leave me be.
Uh-oh. No, no. Oh.
The lift has been sabotaged. You will have to find another way to the tunnels. Take care in this place, Mandus. It is the crucible of the evil that stalks these corridors.
That's where the monsters are made. Got it. So, related to the centrifuge I saw before, it's some form of bizarre mixing device for chemical compounds, and it positively reeks of the foul fluids I have seen too often before. It is clearly a compound, some volatile bastard of two composite ingredients. I should wager I will find them close by. Hey there, Dog Nozzle. Dog Nozzle says, imbeciles is not the preferred nomenclature, dude. Yeah, it just reads what it sees. hobo? More experiments with Compound X. Took the dog and injected it with strychnine. After the expected convulsions and spasming, it died just after midnight. I immersed the body in a large tank of Compound X and introduced an alternating current via induction coil for a period of 3.5 minutes. Partial return was induced. However, damage incurred prior to death was retained upon revival, meaning the dog continued in the acute state of strychnine poisoning until I put a bullet in its skull. But drowning? Perhaps, yes. It is, after all, known to be the kindest of suicides. If one were to drown, replacing the fluid in the lungs with Compound X should, theoretically, be a perfectly possible revival method. Oh, shit. Did I miss one of the chemicals? Did I miss both of them?
It fell onto his hands and they eroded in front of me. To stumps. To stumps. Next time we will use an equal mix of infusion vitae and orgone disperser. No, just take him out. You can dump him in the river for all I care.
It's a pneumatic tube. Let's see. A warning. Inflamed it is, burning it does. Bleeding from each hole, fore and aft, leaking down my legs. Blood and excrement. My lungs are in my vomit. And past clots of my organs now, onto the filthy stone. Drink this, he says, and I did drink it. I did do that because of the changes. They ripple inner me. My teeth sneeze out and scatter like mice in the dark. I cannot find them all. Gathered what I can, pushed them back into my gray gums with my fingers, but the nails are all weepy and falling out. Drink it, he says. It'll help the running of the fever, because not us all can take the change. On the other table, a beast under a blanket. I never wanted to see under that, but he drank it too. He passed it under the blanket and I heard it drink. Dear God Almighty, how can a man shit so much blood and still live? Shit, pig chase. Okay, so I need to go get the other chemical that I missed somehow. Maybe I overlooked it in the chase. But I don't think the pig monster is still here, so that shouldn't be an issue, maybe? There must be some other cask. No, I've already seen that. That is the elevator that is non-functional. Okay, maybe that is the thing that I need. Okay. Okay, this is something that I can use. I believe on the padlock above. Maybe I need to mix them on the padlock? Okay, I think I did everything right. What's going on? You know what? Duh. One of the notes mentioned it being light reactive. I don't like that ticking one bit.
Down here, Daddy. Faster, faster.
Okay, this is the last chapter that I'm going to do tonight. This puts me right about... The end of this will put me right about the midpoint of the game. Descend, descend. October 22nd. Naturally, once bled, the product must be scalded, dehaired, and scraped ready for gambroiling and evisceration. For this, we pass them through the steam reservoir, which is kept at a constant temperature by passing excess high-pressure venting from the engines, via the boiler and the series of large copper pipes, into a stone chamber just below the workhouse. At the center of the machine, there is a component that must be kept at a constantly low temperature, which controls the operations of the processing of product throughout the system. Alongside this, refrigeration is of utmost importance in retaining product quality, and this also requires heat to be removed from certain areas of the machine. Two problems are therefore combined into a single solution: the removal of heat from some areas and the requirements for increased heat in others. Conducting panels draw heat using the principles of convection regulated by the boiler and sending freezing air along one set of pipes in one direction and superheated vapors in the other. My dude invented refrigeration.
Isn't it dangerous allowing this filthy discharge to collect so close to the core?
We can use the flow to drive the turbines. There will always be a torrent of excreta flooding through these tunnels. We can use this to supplement the steam production and ensure constancy.
God, the stench! This fecal matter is the true product of the age.
Yep. We use shit to power the turbines. Oh yeah, I forgot. Our good friend the water demon's back. Yeah. And it causes cool video glitches too. My mysterious friend is correct. The sewers are indeed flooded. To descend further, I will have to find the local sluice pumps to drop the water levels. The smell is almost unbearable. It makes me gag. Why should the saboteur have flooded the tunnels, though? What did he hope to achieve? I do like the conceit of a sewer level that just straight up admits that it's a sewer. Yes, this is a place where shit goes. It's a place where shit goes to go somewhere else. You are walking around hip deep in PC. Oh, hi friend. A pig that walks like a man. Let's see. Several of the older forms have breached their containment area and escaped into the sewers. They remind me of my limitations. This is no Chelm, and I am no Eliyahu, at least not quite yet. It is the heat generated from keeping the doorway between them open that is to blame. We cannot simply pack them about with coolant as we do at the center where the doorway is. The later versions are kept safe by the freezing temperature of those towers. Up here, where the air is hot and fetid, they become overheated, and their duality tears them asunder, as the other place flies from their cells and their vitae splinters. They live sporadically, torn from one world to the other and back again in violent, unpredictable bursts. For a few seconds they are creatures of this world, then they are torn away and cease to have physical form. This vicious ripping back and forth between worlds has driven them quite insane. I have ordered the affected areas sealed and will not allow my loyal workers to enter. Those are damned places now, the abode of failed experiments, ghosts of fear and spite. So yeah, as experiments have actually unmoored beings from the material plane. Okay, one sluice is loose. Hi, chicken riggies.
Faster, Mandrus. Drain the waters. Open the way to the bilge pumps. We are waiting for you.
Not gonna do that. Okay, there must be some other sluice station I need to activate. That's sluice gate 2. The shit is impacted on the walls. Ugh. Foul. Sluice gate 1, there we go.
But we can save them. We can set them free. We can replace a rotten old world with a clean new one. Mr. Mandrus, you sound every bit the fanatic.
Well, how can I be otherwise, Professor? How can any man of ethics simply stand by and watch this world drown in its own excrement?
And your engineer, this visionary with whom you embarked upon this course, does he share your views?
Indeed he does. Indeed he does. The poor fellow has seen it all before. Now, this is not the first great civilization he has wept for.
And so you set about things immediately upon your return.
Naturally. These things cannot be left to rot upon the tree. And sponsors were remarkably easy to find. I tell you, Professor, a trail of greed brings rich men to your door like pigs to truffles.
This, my friends, is what we call a monomania. Not a monomania, which is excessive enthusiasm for the artist who did a lot of Final Fantasy character work. And I said, "Look, my darlings, can you see it?" And they said, "Yes, Daddy. Yes, we see it. A tall, weathered cap of a steep-sided pyramid, so like those of Egypt. Stone falling away from the summit, vines crawling about intertwining the stucco serpents that thrive about the steps. A palpable sense of stillness, a weight of forgotten. And this here, this is where the king sat. And this is where the priests lived. This house. This is the house of the dead. And here, where the sun strikes, this is where they threw the hearts that were not consumed. No, my darlings, they most certainly were not savages. You see, they believed that the sky could fall on their heads, and they truly, truly believed that offering blood was the only way of stopping this from happening. Perhaps, my darling, perhaps they were mistaken altogether. Or perhaps their tragedy was that they simply could not spill enough blood to prevent the sky from falling on them. Alright, let's go see what I unleashed. That's done it. Now I can enter the strange decontamination chamber once again and move onwards. The waters are pushed back, making the way to the bilge clear, where I can divert the remainder of this filthy torrent back into the Thames where it belongs, and clear the path to the center of the machine. Let's see here. How do I go forward? There was a path back by Sluice Gate 2. And now that the water's gone, I should be able to get past the invisible water demon? No, he's still there.
So near now.
Okay, so what have we learned? There's a voice on the phone directing me further downward. I'm being dragged by hallucinations of my children. Through the logs, I have determined that I, Oswald Mandrus, run this quote-unquote meat processing factory, but also have access to a good deal of the technology or findings from Brennenberg, including the manipulation of vitae and the creation of otherworldly monsters. I have drained part of the sewage and cleared at least some of the way, following the prompts of the voice that is guiding me, trying to get the machine back up again after some saboteur, some unknown person, has done their best to stop it. A nest of wretches. Dear God, a whole nest of these foul creatures. No mind. My instincts have drawn me thus far, and here I am sure, somewhere in this dark complex is a means of further descent. I will not see their faces as they go about their dark business, and yet I watch them sleep and eat and play, and they are so very human, so very childlike. And I will not think of what I have seen, of the chairs and the cages. I will not think of how such monsters may be sculpted. My character, Mandus, has some real delusions and fixations on mankind and anything base as being porcine, of being the domain of the lowly pig, and he is trying to create a new god. He saw wisdom in the practices of the Aztecs and blood sacrificed to stop the sky from falling. Hey there, buddy. But he just thought, well, they didn't do it good enough, quick enough, in enough volume. Here is the House of the Dead. And I think he just makes the pigmen for fun, or to be his servants, using Compound X to mold the flesh. Here we go. Into the bilge. ever downward. Ever downward. Okay. Okay, this is where I call it off for the night, because I need to go to bed. I will be back sometime tomorrow, if not tomorrow, if not Sunday, sometime during this week, because otherwise I will not be finishing this game maybe until like the end of September. So, thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate you hanging around and talking and having fun. I will see you when I see you next time. You know what to do depending on where you're watching us. So, do the thing. Have a wonderful Sunday and the rest of the week. Bye, everybody.